Okay, the 3080 officially released today with a lot of people getting pre-orders in, and it sold out pretty much instantly. Now, I made a video about 1 to 2 months back detailing why you should wait at least a few months before buying any new hardware, because Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA are all coming out with new things that could be big game changers in the market. And I got a lot of comments on that video saying, hey Brandon, isn't that what they all say? You should just wait for the next big thing. And eventually you're just never going to buy anything because you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for each new big thing to come out. However, it's a little different this time. AMD is forcing NVIDIA's hand with Navi. Now we're seeing with Big Navi, we're probably going to see a lot more competition from AMD against NVIDIA. NVIDIA's shareholders are probably wondering what the heck NVIDIA is doing because they need to really step up their game. So Ampere has got to be a lot different. Okay, first let's talk about RTX 3080 AIB prices. So there was a bug for a while on Newegg's website where you could actually filter prices and filter certain ranges of prices to find out the price of certain AIB 3080 cards. So according to user RD Metz on Reddit, the prices for AIB cards are as follows: $700 for the Asus TUF and MSI Ventus 3 times, $720 for the Zotac Trinity, $730 for the EVGA XE Black, $730 for the Gigabyte Eagle OC, $740 for the MSI Ventus 3 times OC, $750 for the EVGA XE Gaming, Asus TUF OC and the Gigabyte Gaming OC, $760 for the MSI Gaming X Trio, $770 for the EVGA XE Ultra, $790 for the EVGA For the Win 3, $810 for the EVGA For the Win 3 Ultra, and $850 for the Asus Strix. Now these prices are all subject to change because these aren't actually official prices. They haven't been actually released yet, so expect that they may change a little bit. So basically expect to pay anywhere from around $700 to $850 for one of these cards from a retailer 2 to 3 months after launch. If you're trying to buy a card right now or after launch, you're already kind of out of luck because a lot of these cards have already been sold out from the pre-order and likely won't be back in stock for at least a few weeks. And when they do go back in stock, they will probably sell it very quickly. People on eBay are selling them anywhere from $1,000 to $60,000, which is insane. But do expect prices like this for the first month or so. After the first few months, we'll start to see prices start to come back down and stock will be more available, and then we'll see cards more around the $700 to $750 range. In addition to paying a premium for buying a card on launch, there is something else to keep in mind, and that's drivers. Drivers on launch are pretty much always plagued with some issues, so it's always best to wait for the first wave, so a month or 2 months, and waiting for that first wave to report all the issues for NVIDIA to fix them, and then you can buy your card without any issues. Okay, moving on to benchmarks for the 3080. This graph from 3dcenter.org shows the Vega 64, Radeon 7, 5700 XT, GTX 1080, 1080 Ti, RTX 2070 Super, 2080, 2080 Super, and the 2080 Ti compared against the 3080 in 4K games. This is relative performance to the 3080, so the 3080 is 100% in every single test. Keep in mind that the 3080 has an MSRP of $700 and will likely be back at that price after a few months. We can see that the 3080 has a 31.9% advantage in FPS over the 2080 Ti, which can also be represented as the 2080 Ti being 24.2% slower than the 3080. Looking at the Radeon 7, which has an MSRP of $700 USD as well, we can see that the 3080 is 84.2% faster than the Radeon 7 on average. Compared to the previous generation 2080, the 3080 is 58.5% faster, and compared to the 1080, the 3080 is almost 2.5 times faster. Now, if we want to compare generational increases in performance, the 3080 is roughly 31.9% faster than the 2080 Ti on average, and the 2080 Ti is roughly 12% faster than the 1080 Ti on average in 4K games. It isn't exactly the generational gap that we were hoping for, but considering that it was still bigger than Turing's generational gap from Pascal, it is still a pretty big plus. Speaking of Turing, Turing prices on eBay have significantly tanked. You can now find 2080 Ti starting at $700, where they used to retail for $900 to $1,000. So if you are planning to upgrade, if you are planning to sell your GPU, you should absolutely do it now. Even if you're not planning to upgrade, I would still actually recommend selling your GPU now and then upgrading, because you're going to get more performance even if you sell now. If you sell now, you can still get decent money out of your GPU. If you don't sell now, your GPU is just going to decrease in value, especially once these things come back into regular stock, because then at that point, there is no point in buying a more expensive used GPU that will perform way worse than a new GPU that performs better. And now we're looking at AMD to come back with a blow at NVIDIA. Both the Xbox Series X and the PS5 prices were unveiled already, and we're looking at a lot more of a competitive side from Microsoft this time. The Xbox Series X starts at $499 USD, and the Series S starts at $299 USD. The PS5 starts at $399 for the regular version and $499 for the version with a Blu-ray disc drive. I really think the Series S is going to be extremely popular, not because it's the most powerful, obviously, but because it's significantly cheaper than any of the other options. When people want to get into console gaming, it's not because they want the power. If they did, they want to go PC. They do it because they want the games, the feel. They like the feel. There's simple plug and play, and a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of money to do that. So that's why I think the Series S is going to be a very popular choice. It's cheap, it still performs extremely well, and you can get a lot of cool titles and cool games that you can play with your friends as well. Alright, that's it for this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed, down if you didn't, subscribe for more tech content, and follow me on Twitter for news, announcements, giveaways, and more. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/proximityplays_ for PC and keyboard building streams as well as gaming streams.